Hello friends, welcome to Health Music and Fitness channel.
और ऊपर करो।
Hello friends, welcome to Health Music and Fitness channel. I hope you liked my previous two videos on intermittent fasting and bulletproof coffee. And I loved making those videos and hope you benefited by watching those videos. Today's video which is related to this topic only of intermittent fasting and how our body uses intermittent fasting to heal ourselves when we are not well. Have you ever wondered when we get fever or when somebody is suffering from malignancy or cancer or something, why we start having fever and why our appetite goes for a 6? Why we stop eating, why we don't feel like eating, and why we have fever? Because our body has a natural tendency to self-heal. There is a battery of warriors inside a system, inside a blood vessels. They're parked like police cars, and whenever there is infection and when a bacteria or some organism invades our body, these cars are set into action. They are called leukocytes, neutrophils, lymphocytes, eosinophils. And then our TLC count rises whenever there is infection or in some blood malignancies, in blood cancers. That is how our body tries to kill the bacteria. And in response to that, like to kill the bacteria, we will have fever. One of the hypotheses for having fever is like the body tries to raise the temperature so that the bacteria cannot flourish and it dies. And but we should not keep the patient too much into febrile zone, and once we have the diagnosis and we have the antibiotics, we can use these antibiotics to kill the bacteria or the virus. And at the same time, whenever we have infection in our body or some chronic malignancy or some chronic infection, our appetite goes off. We don't feel like eating. That is like our body goes into that intermittent fasting zone and our body tries to switch off from the sugar using mode to fat using and ketone using mode. That is a basic funda. That is the one of the latest things which is coming up. And you must have noted whenever somebody is sick or somebody is admitted in the hospital, what we all do and what most of the people do, they will buy real juice or mango juice or something fruits, and they'll go to visit the patient and they'll put 1 or 2 kilos of fruits by the patient's bedside and they'll say, please eat, and eating is good, you will get well soon. And you must remember, eating will heal you also, and eating unwisely and in excess will cause and create disease also. Most of the times we make ourselves sick by overeating. And you must remember, our stomach is just this much in size, and just this much of food is required for us to survive the whole day. Our bodies are magnificently made by God, and we don't need too much of excess of eating to stay healthy and to carry out our day-to-day routine works. Our body is just like a very efficient bike. You put 1 liter of petrol in the bike and it'll go 60, 70, 80 kilometers. So that is how our body is. And if you think of our ancestors, when they didn't have weapons, they didn't know how to make weapons from iron or some other metals, and they would kill with stones. At that time, what they did, they were hungry, they would spot a deer and they would start running. They were natural marathon runners. Our ancestors were natural marathon runners. That is why we are in a standing position as compared to other species. And the early man would keep on running after the deer and running, and finally the deer would overheat, will get exhausted, will stand, and the man will catch him and kill the deer and eat. And this is not a everyday happening. The man would get deer not every day. Sometimes he will get, sometimes maybe for 2 or 3 days he will go fasting. His family will go fasting. He'll kill the deer and bring it back on his shoulders or back, and then he will feed his family. But sometimes he will be unsuccessful. The deer will run away and he will not be able to catch the deer. So that is a natural form of fasting where the body uses your excess stored fat and keeps you alive. So coming back to sugar and infection. Whenever I said, like, whenever somebody is sick, and what the parents do, what the relatives will do, they will take a lot of sweets and fruits and to the hospital and say, beta khao, you will get well. That is not the right thing. Our body is trying to cut off the sugar intake in the body, so that the bacteria doesn't get energy, because these bacteria, they will thrive on sugars. They will want sugar to multiply, to grow. If you put little sugar outside, and you will see a lot of ants will come. This is what happens in diabetic patients. Why the diabetic patients, they develop frequent UTIs, frequent infections, cellulitis, and to the extent they will need amputations also. And why this happens? Because there is excess of sugar which invites the bacteria, and the bacteria need sugar, and they will grow and proliferate and cause sepsis and arthritis and a lot of other complications, along with other chronic complications of diabetes. So our body tries to cut off the sugars whenever there is infection. That is one reason why we will not feel like eating, because the bacteria can thrive only on sugars. And if you remember, like supposing we are suspecting some patient of having some infection in the meninges or in the brain, we do the CSF and we'll analyze. What do we check? We look for the sugar levels and the protein levels. If the protein is raised, like bacteria is protein, and if protein is raised, it means that there might be infection. There are many other causes of raised protein levels. If the sugar is low, then what does it mean? Means possibly there is a lot of bacteria which is using a lot of sugar. So the CSF sugar will be very low in acute bacterial meningitis. In chronic infections like tubercular meningitis, the sugars will not be that low, but they will be low. So this is an indirect way to analyze and realize that the bacteria, they need sugar, and if you cut the sugars, they will die. Our body will heal faster because you are cutting down the energy source of the bacteria. Now same way for malignancy, and some of the malignancy, most of the malignant cells, they're rapidly multiplying cells, and they have only one pathway to consume sugars for the rapid proliferation. They cannot thrive on ketones, they cannot thrive on fats. If you cut down sugars in malignancies, many of the malignancies, they will heal, our body will heal, and the malignancy will regress in size, the mass or the lymph nodes or wherever the malignancy is, the tissue will regress in size, and the body will try to self-heal. And now I'm not trying to say that we should not take antibiotics, we should not take chemotherapy. That is a person's own decision. Many malignancies, they respond very nicely to chemotherapy, and many infections, most of the infections, they will respond to good antibiotics to which the bacteria or the virus or the organism is sensitive to. But along with this, if we take care of our diet also, we cut down the sugars, the healing process will be very fast. The cancer will abate and the infections will heal very fast. Now, one more thing I would like to highlight at this point is, if you go to some good tertiary care hospital where they're giving good treatment to cancer patients and good infection control is there, and if you happen to go to their eating place where patients can go and have food, what do you see? There are a lot of sweets and a lot of pizzas and McDonald's and Coke, and everything is available. And we are feeding the disease, we are feeding the cancer, we are feeding the infection. And this must stop. Till now, we have not realized fully the importance of diet and how harmful the sugar is to our body. Like in the previous lectures also, I said that sugars are inflammatory, and sugar will cause insulin rise, and insulin rise will cause fat cells proliferation and deposition of fat into those fat cells. And most importantly, this fat will deposit around your trunk area, around your abdomen, hips and thighs. And these adipocytes in the abdominal area fat, and these fat cells around the abdomen and the hip area, like they have enzyme which causes inflammation in the arteries, in the organs, end organs. So we have to get rid of this fat, and which is possible with intermittent fasting and cutting those sugars and milk in your diet. So in nutshell, our body does not need sugar, and we can thrive very nicely, we can live very nicely in a healthy way on fats and proteins. And in certain medical conditions, you will need to cut down your protein intake a little bit. Fats are the most, because in that there is no inflammation, and there is no insulin spike in response to fat intake. Like in response to protein intake also, there is mild release of insulin. But in response to fat intake, there is no insulin release. So that is the best. So I will tell you what I do and how I manage my day diet wise. So in the morning, I will wake up, I will make bulletproof coffee, which in the previous two videos I told you how it is made. You take hot water, boiling water, you put half teaspoon of coffee, any coffee brand you like, you put that half teaspoon or 1 teaspoon, whichever way you like it, and you put 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, and you put half to 1 teaspoon of butter, Amul butter I like, so you put that in the coffee, and you sprinkle few drops of lemon to add to the taste, 8-9 drops of lemon, fresh lemon, squeeze it, and you stir it with spoon and have it, and it will keep you full till afternoon, and you will not feel hungry, and it has zero calories from sugars. So this is how I start my day, with bulletproof coffee. Then I go for my work, and at around 1 or 2 o'clock I will have my first meal, which is the lunch, and in that it will be high protein diet. You can have eggs and chicken, fish, meat, paneer, rajma, chane, Nutrilla. So all these things you can take, and avoid chapati, rice, idli, and bread. Bread is the worst form of sugars. And if at all you want to have carbs, have complex carbs, like oats is a very good form of complex carbs, and they will not cause too much of insulin spike, and they are okay, and they will help you in satiety, and you will feel full, your stomach will feel full if you have oats, 1 bowl of oats in boiling water. And if you don't like the taste of oats in boiling water, you can add 1 or 2 teaspoons of Boost or Horlicks, and you just try out. It tastes awesome. The flavor is very good. And sometimes you will just not feel like having oats in water. So just put 1 teaspoon of Boost or Horlicks, or 2 teaspoons, and enjoy the meal. So thank you friends for watching. Please do subscribe, share the video with your friends. Remember not to go for the craving, and not to have too much of sugars. Have high protein diet, and also exercise along with this. Exercise and diet control. These are the best ways to have weight loss and fat loss and increase the muscle mass. Thank you for watching.